Good morning. When I assumed this office 20 months ago, I made a vow to return DeKalb County to the people and to bring about more transparency, ethics, and integrity. To restore the confidence and faith of the public and those whom we were elected to represent. In the last 20 months, I have signed an executive order to update and standardize ethics rules, secured greater funding for the Board of Ethics to hire full-time staff, crafted new rules that mandate all employees under the CEO go through new ethics training. We established new rules on gifts, meals, travel, and honorarium. We reorganized our contract and procurement office and completely revised our purchasing policies. In addition, my office has pushed strongly for an independent auditor to provide an independent level of oversight of the day-to-day operations of our county government. I have created a full-time position called the Chief Integrity Officer to assist the Board of Ethics in conducting their business in an efficient, open, and transparent way. And I've made it clear that there is no tolerance for corruption in my administration. There is no tolerance for unethical conduct in my administration. Now, have we made progress in ethics and transparency? Yes. Yet public cynicism continues to grow as the stench of corruption and distrust permeates our air. As a result, leadership and bold action is necessary. And that's what brings us here today. I am determined to restore the public's trust in our government. But more needs to be done. So today I stand here with Mike Bowers, whom I've only met briefly one time before today. A man who grew up in DeKalb County, graduated from Southwest DeKalb High School, who raised his family and educated his children in DeKalb County. He is a former Attorney General for our state, a man who believes in ethics and the rule of law. He is a man that takes no prisoners and will do what it takes to preserve the public confidence and integrity in our government. Therefore, today, through executive order, I am appointing Mike Bowers as special investigator to investigate the affairs, records, expenditures of employees and departments under the purview of the CEO. It is my firm belief that the special investigator will assist in restoring public confidence and trust in our county government. And partnering with Mike Bowers as investigator will be Richard Hyde, a former police officer and investigator for the Office of Attorney General for our state, and a commissioner for the Judicial Qualifications Commission. Mike and his team shall be appointed for a term of no less than 120 days. He shall have total independence, unfettered access, and will deliver a comprehensive report that will speak to the county's risk exposure for waste, fraud, and abuse. This report will be made public. And a very important part of this process is that I nor anyone else in my administration will see this report before it is made public. There will be no whitewashing of this report, no cover-ups, no editing or amending of this report. We will let the report speak for itself, and we will act accordingly to root out anything that serves to erode the public's trust. Now, I'm serious about the reform in DeKalb County and restoring trust to the public. And I'm hoping this action here today will certify just that. So after Mike comes forward and brings a few remarks, I will sign this executive order, and he and I will take questions at you all's pleasure. Mr. Bowers.
Thank you, Commissioner May. I am honored beyond anything I can tell y'all for a number of reasons. First of all, just the trust that Commissioner May is reposing in Richard Hyde and I. It's enormous, and I do not take it lightly. Secondly, I spent a lot of time in DeKalb County. I am a graduate of Southwest DeKalb High School, and I'm still proud of it. 1959. Now that's long before most of y'all were born. In 1970, my wife and I returned to DeKalb County after I had spent a long time in the Air Force. We raised our children there. They went to Allgood Elementary School and Redan High School. So our tie is very strong there. We lived 29 years on Allgood Road in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Richard Hyde is a graduate of the old Peachtree High School, 1977. So we both have very strong ties to DeKalb, and that's another reason I'm very, very proud to be undertaking this assignment. I was sworn in to practice law in 1974 by Judge Curtis Tillman in the DeKalb County Courthouse, if that's not enough. I've got two of the young folks that will be helping me with this assignment right over here to my right. Tashwanda Pinchback Dixon in black, and the young, well, they're both in black. The shorter one on the far right over here is Natalie Majid. They're two of the team that will be working on this. The other folks, one's in Istanbul, Richard Hyde is down in South Georgia investigating judges, and Jim Hollis is in Salt Lake City. So I've got them spread out all over the place. Commenting about the assignment. This is, in my 41 years of practicing law and doing these kind of assignments, absolutely unprecedented. I have never seen anything like it. For a governmental officer to say, let's look at my operation with unfettered access, call it as you see it, publish a report that I don't get to look at until it's published. That's high-risk poker, no matter how you call it. And I salute him. And I never met the man till last Thursday night. And he's taking a big risk with me and Richard, because we are sort of like rolling cannons on the deck of a ship, and everybody knows that. But we'll give him an honest product and an honest day's work for what we get paid. Point two. I've been around government for a long, long time, and I want this message to go out loud and clear to the employees and officials in DeKalb County. I believe, without any reservations, the vast majority of you are honest, decent, hard-working people. And we start from that premise. There are some bad apples. Woe be unto you. But the good, decent folks, you have nothing whatsoever to fear from us. You only have good things to look forward to. Come talk to us. We're going to make it better for you because of this man standing right here behind me. We're going to try to improve county operations. We're going to try to restore the county's image of the best place in the United States of America to live, just like it was when my wife and I, Betty Rose, moved there in 1970, the best place in America to live. And we're going to try to restore the public's trust in its government, just like the Constitution of Georgia says that the first obligation of all public officers is to serve as servants and trustees of the people. And if you don't believe me, it's right there in the Constitution. We're going to root out conflicts of interest, corruption, malfeasance, and misfeasance. So help me God. And we'll take questions.
All right. We're going to sign this executive order first, and then we will take questions. All right.
He went to divinity school. I didn't, if I sounded like a preacher.
What is today?
You need a chair.
That's okay.
Okay, well, it is signed, and you need to please. Okay. Well, thank you.
Barbara, could you come up and make copies for these folks?
We have copies.
Oh, you do? Good, good.
Gentlemen,
All right,
where
we'll now
does
take
this,
questions.
where does this leave the county commission? There, the CEO, I think you're laying this out as things that are under your authority.
Yes.
County commission is not under your authority. Does the county commission, does its staff have to cooperate?
We are leading by example. Again, this is for any of those employees and departments under the purview of the CEO. It is our hope, of course, that all in DeKalb County will take our leadership and accept such an opportunity as this today. We will avail Mr. Bowers to anyone who would also like to participate in this as well, and that includes all elected officials in DeKalb County.
But you can't force them.
We cannot force them, no. But for the 6,000+ employees in DeKalb County, the well over 30+ departments, this will be conducted throughout all aspects of those areas.
Mr. May, the Attorney General said that there are some bad apples. Would you care to talk specifics in terms of any specific departments, anything that we know of that has occurred?
What keeps me up at night is the unknown, what we don't know. Of course, the media, you all have done a great job of exposing various stories and various particular incidences. I'm concerned about what we don't know and rooting out what we don't know. And so that's countywide, from the largest department to the smallest department, from the highest level employee to the frontline workers as well. So there's no particular area that we are targeting. We are going to hone in on some areas, particularly in the watershed management department, to conduct a forensic audit in that area. That's a $250 million operation that we're currently under a consent decree with the federal government. We have a $1.3 billion capital improvement program, and we want to make sure that that is a clean operation. We have a good operation as it stands now, but we want to make sure that we have the appropriate level of oversight and that we are identifying any areas of potential waste, fraud, and abuse.
How does this affect the operation and the role of the Board of Ethics and the integrity officer that are expected to have?
When anything that Mike identifies, whether it's criminal in nature or whether it's just an ethical or an unethical situation, we will be submitting those to the appropriate agencies for them to further conduct whatever activity they deem is best.
How does this compare to your previous investigation of APS?
It's completely different. We started in APS with a base document from the Governor's Office of Student Achievement, which was a huge head start. We're starting here from ground zero.
Can you speak a little more to the scope? I know you said unfettered access. Are you talking finances, operations, personnel, all of the above?
Yes.
And more, and what else?
I didn't understand.
Can you speak more to the scope, what you'll be looking at?
At this point in time, it's in the order. It's virtually everything that is under the chief executive. Every single thing under the chief executive.
We know that there have been, or maybe now, federal investigations ongoing into certain aspects of DeKalb County Government. Will you be working at all with the FBI or using any of their findings?
We certainly will not be interfering. Will we be working with them? I don't know yet. We're just getting started. And I can tell you without any reservation about the only thing that I have done so far, or any of us has done, is to read the DeKalb Organizational Act. We haven't done anything yet. We're just getting started until that order got signed.
And you said 120 days.
At minimum 120 days. We're going to allow Mike to get in, and we will have these reports, periodic reports, and at the end of the 120 days we'll determine does he need more time, and we'll give the amount of time that's necessary to fulfill his mission.
Would you be looking backward? For instance, would you like to interview Vernon Jones, Burl Ellis, Elaine Boyer, some of the names?
I doubt we'll be interviewing Burl Ellis. Could very well interview Mr. Jones and or others. I think that's probably likely. I just don't know right now, Richard.
Do you have a budget for this, Mr. CEO?
We are paying Mr. Bowers by the hour and his team as well, and so we have the money available in our budget. I have the capacity as CEO to create this special investigator position, and so we can't afford not to do this. And so we are willing to spend what is necessary to root out corruption, to identify waste, fraud, and abuse.
Do you have a ballpark estimate of the cost?
We don't know exactly. I have an internal number that we're working with, but again, I don't want to put a limit on it or even a floor because the ultimate goal is to make sure that we have a government that really endears the public trust of the community.
Why is this needed when we have, other law enforcement agencies already investigating, as we know, various aspects of DeKalb? I know in some ways this will go beyond it, but won't there be some overlap as well?
Well, and that's a good question, Mark. As you all do your all's investigations, the number one question you ask me is, well, what are you going to do? And we've accomplished a lot. I've laid out some of the things that we've done to really transform our government from ethics and transparency. But I really believe it's been piecemeal. This is our opportunity to have a very proactive approach and a more comprehensive approach on identifying issues that are innately in our government. And this is really dealing with it all at one time and not just piecemeal, or not even waiting on the media to identify issues that may have arisen over the years. This is us being proactive. I would rather us identify the issues, fix them, and then move forward.
And this is not just law enforcement, criminal justice. Keep that in mind, please.
And you mentioned Department of Watershed Management, which was the subject of the special grand jury investigation. Will you be using that as source material to build on?
Undoubtedly. And we also have been expressly empowered as a part of that to bring on board an accounting firm as a part of that specific inquiry.
As a part of the forensic audit.
Yes.
How much access will you have to the operations of the commission, given that this is the executive branch?
The members of the commission, as of right now, none.
He's limited based upon their acceptance of him being able to come in. But again, that is not in his scope of work, and unless they allow access, he will conduct the business according to the executive order.
Are you
got any
explicitly
feedback?
calling on them to cooperate?
I'm not calling on them. Again, I'm hopeful that we all would participate in this. I really believe in this. I believe this is going to help us be a more transparent government. I believe that the citizens of DeKalb County will feel better about our county government with this process, bringing in an outside agency, that my hands won't be a part of any of this process. I believe at the end of the day, this is going to be better for our county.
Have you spoken to them about it, and any of the commissioners about this yet?
I have not.
What happens if you run across some things and it looks like there's some ties to the commission? How do you deal with that since he's working for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
If in the process of our investigation, we find employees being mistreated, abused, if we find criminal conduct, we will report that, notwithstanding we have not completed a report. We're not going to sit idly by and let that sort of thing get by. No question about it. If we find anybody abusing, misusing, engaging in criminal conduct, we will put a halt to that immediately. Go to the DA, go to the feds, whatever it takes. We're not going to allow that to go on.
So even though it's out of your purview under the executive...
That's not out of anybody's purview. We're not going to let that go on. Good grief.
But how much can you really look into it if they're not subject to this executive order?
Well, let me say this. This is truly about the day-to-day.
About the commission?
This is truly about the day-to-day operations of our county government, what really means the most to the constituency of DeKalb County. Yes, I know you want to focus on the Board of Commissioners, and that is fine, again, if they want to participate, but I, in this role as CEO, who is responsible for the day-to-day operations of this county government, want to ensure that, again, the over 6,000 employees, the 30-plus county departments are focused on running departments that are full of integrity, that are open, and are transparent. If anyone else wants to join in, they're free to, and I would actually encourage them to. But I don't want to focus that much time on an area that we don't have a role of responsibility on.
Are you concerned that this investigation could reach your senior staff and even your office itself? I mean, is that something that could be risky?
Well, Absolutely, it's risky. Do I believe in it? Yes, I look forward. One of the good things about Mike is I think Mike could throw me in jail if you think I'm doing something wrong. And I will be hopeful that the people in DeKalb County would be encouraged that I and this administration is willing to take on an endeavor that could possibly go even to to my office, and I'm fine with that.
How'd you come up with Mr. Bowers?
Well, we had some internal dialogue about who could be a person that could be beyond reproach, someone who is not considered necessarily a friend of DeKalb. Although you've heard about Mike's background, Mike has held no punches when it's come to DeKalb in the past. And I believe that people would be confident that this is not a fixed situation. This is a situation where Mike will have the opportunity to come in unfettered and really root out any corruption and malfeasance and waste, fraud, and abuse.
Anybody else?
If you come across commissioners who do not want to help, they don't want to play, will this be part of the report? Will you, give them 1 and 2 chances to go along with it?
I don't know right now. Could very well be. You're asking me something way down the road. I don't know. Just like you don't know you're going to put in your story. I don't know the answer to that right now.
Well, we hope it's going to be something good.
But he doesn't know, and I don't know either. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I just flat don't know.
With the you're well known for the APS story. I take it that, or the APS investigation. I take it that's kind of what got.
But it brought it to our attention.
Brought it to
Absolutely.
our attention.
Yes.
The difference, you did have an army of people helping you. How many people do you feel that you will have?
I don't know the answer to that one either, but I can tell you right now, be at least 5 that I know. I introduced 2 of them to you, and the commissioner mentioned one other one of the 5, and there are 2 more, Jim Hollis and Josh Moore. Josh is in Istanbul, and Jim Hollis is in Salt Lake City on a case.
Right.
But there will undoubtedly be others as time progresses. It just depends on what all we find. I don't know what we're going to find right now.
Will people be mandated that they have to talk?
Any county employee are mandated to open up our books, records, sit down for interviews, etc. He will have full access
That's in
to
the
our
order.
county department.
That's in the order he just signed.
All right.
If they don't, I guess they could be.
Well, it's mandated. It's an order from their boss. So yeah, there will be consequences if there's any holdback of any information. So.
You'll see that in the order. It's a separate paragraph in that order.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming out today. We appreciate you, and we're excited about the future of DeKalb.